first thing you would realize tend to be the impact on the victim has to be in the area of their own personal impression of themselves. You get to find out that most people who have gone through that, or most people who are currently going through that, they seem to have an impression of themselves which isn't authentic to themselves.
Yeah.
Most often, when they're talking about themselves and when they're talking about their opinions, impression, perspective, you realize that they speak as though it comes from another person. You realize they don't own
They
it.
don't have a voice.
Exactly. So when they are under a lot of scrutiny or they are under intense questioning, you see them, they struggle. You see that they fumble because obviously this is not their unique, authentic self. So there is that. There is also the question of how eventually it impacts the quality of the relationship itself. It affects communication, it affects intimacy, it affects interpersonal relationship in the areas of how both are, how do I even say it, how both are working towards a common goal. You find out that eventually it's just one voice that is speaking in the relationship. It's the voice of the manipulator. Now, even if the manipulated or the victim is also speaking, in a way, it kind of reflects the gaslighter or the manipulator's voice. So, in principle, it's just one opinion that two people are sharing. Because one person has co-opted the other person into their own opinion. So there is that. And ultimately, there is also a certain tension that you find available in the relationship. You find a certain unease or uneasiness, a certain tension in there because everybody is trying, especially the victim. He or she is trying very well not to upset the peace in the relationship. They are being very careful. They are watching what they are saying. They are making sure that everything they are doing is consistent with the expectation of the manipulator or the abuser. So ultimately, there is this uneasiness, there's this tension, there is this choreography in the house. It's like everything has to be carefully carefully choreographed, carefully acted out, because I don't want to dress in a way that offends my partner, because he's already talked about this dressing. But this is my body shape. This is what I feel very careful about. So I need to be careful not to accidentally or unconsciously buy clothing that the person doesn't like. So you see, if you even step forward in the shop and you're trying to pick clothes, things like something as intimate as clothes for yourself, you have to make your choice through the lens of someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, my partner doesn't like these perfumes. He says they are too strong. They smell like tunale. I look kind of cheap. So even perfumes, fragrance that I love, I need to change them so that I don't offend this person. There was a time I used this fragrance. This guy left me. This guy sat in the car and said that he can't be in the same car with me, so I should drive my car. We're going to the same place. I beg, I don't want that again. So now let me buy a different perfume. So on different level, you realize that your reality isn't your reality again. And so in a marriage where you expect some supporting divergent opinion, just so that at every point in time we have multiple thoughts on the same issue. Now we have just one thought, because now I'm beginning to think like you, just for the sake of peace. It's not healthy in any relationship.
And you're not them, so you can never achieve it.
You can never achieve perfection. You can never own it. That's it.
And you will never attain.
Exactly.
So you will, you will keep changing yourself every day. Every day.
Exactly.
Just to suit them.
And Adam, another thing, sometimes they themselves don't know what they want.
Who are these people? The victims?
Sorry.
The manipulators.
The manipulators. They don't know what they want. So it's like constantly you are living an experiment. Today I don't like this. Today I don't like this. No. The next time you repeat the same thing. No, but why did you do it this way? But last time you said you don't want this way. Yeah, but I said last time. Yeah, that was last time. Today I want it done in a different way.
They just want to stay in control.
So on different levels, it's like you are an experiment.
Oh dear.
And so constantly you are confused.
Yeah.
Think about the house helps back in the 90s and the 80s who used to live with our crazy mothers. Like screaming at the girls, yelling at them. And so sometimes you see house help breaking plates and glasses, not because they are clumsy, but because they are scared. They are confused.
Yeah.
You touch the plate, hey, make sure you don't break it. Crassinino, where China made a Pyrex. You know those days we call some Pyrex.
Pyrex.
Those
That
are
reminds me.
those are the correct ones.
No, the
Pyrex.
Pyrex bowls, not the cheap ones.
The ones they arrange in
Thank
the,
you in the wardrobe.
In fact, today I want to eat in the Pyrex.
What's the name? The room divider.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the corned beef and the rest.
We have come a long way.
I know, right?
I can imagine what these Gen Zs will say today if they see those
If they
things.
see these things, you know, and these house helps are, you know, like they're shaking, they're dropping things, they are, you see, when it happens, instead of our mothers taking a step back and realizing that, listen, this girl is under a lot of stress, what we do is that we pile up more. And that's what actually happens in some homes. Some spouses are literally like house helps. And I'm not talking about just women. There are some men.
Yeah.
They are literally at the beck and call of their wives. You know, because you love the woman. You don't want to offend her. You don't want her to be moody. You would do anything, roll on the floor for them. And the more you do that, the more they manipulate you. Because they realize that when they jump, you will come. So eventually the guy becomes, in fancy we said, why ha 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 ha? Why ha 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 ha? Like, it's like, you are light. You're like stressed. You know, and so yes. these are some of the